Muslims believe, or if they don't, should believe, that Allah is either reality Himself, or perhaps better still, greater than reality if we consider it to be a thing rather than the divine persona. When God names Himself as Al Haq, as in ثُمَّ رُدُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ مَوْلَاهُمُ الْحَقِّ, He is not limiting Himself to some ultimate truth that we will come to know and admire. Rather, His reality will remake what we believe ourselves to be. We will be so immersed in it that either we cannot escape it except by His grace, or we will love it as more real than our own selves. When people talk about reality, they usually consider it in terms of what they have realized, that is, experienced. People who have come back from vivid near-death experiences, NDEs, from a trip on psychedelic drugs, or from some revelatory spiritual event, often tell us that they now see reality differently or at a higher level than before. Some even go so far as to say that we commoners are not living in reality, that we do not know what reality is. There is nothing special or unusual about this, however. What a shaman or mystic might say to us about the worlds he or she has traversed is not all that different in kind or degree than what an adult could say, but refrains from saying, to a child. The shaman's case sounds fascinating and impressive, while the parent-to-child interaction is, of course, so utterly normal that we hardly ever consider the adult as privy to a higher reality. And a greater or more advanced reality is not necessarily better. The adult envies the child's innocence and naivete. Lack of experience can actually be a precious gem. It leaves room for childlike trust, iman, which is God's greatest gift to man in this world. Any of our realities, however, even the most privileged, is nothing but a trifling fragment of the total reality that will be meted out to us on the day of judgment, each according to his or her capacity. As Muslims, we do not worship special experiences nor their purveyors. We do not base our religion on the visions of Sufi mystics or meetings with jinn. We worship Allah and trust that whatever small amount of experience He gives us, be it good or bad, is ultimately good for us in the grand scheme of things if we apply our most valuable possession, namely faith, to it. Take, for example, the out-of-body experiences that are occasionally reported by people who died on the operating table or in accidents, but then came back to life by resuscitation or some form of intervention, human or divine. They speak of seeing a light, of hovering over their own body and looking down on it, of witnessing or learning things that they could not possibly have known, of encountering benevolent beings who greet and welcome them, or being given some vital understanding from beyond the grave. All of this could be, and often is, considered miraculous. But is this so different from the story of one who passed a ruined village saying, "Anna yuhyi hadhihi Allahu ba'da mawtiha"? So God caused him to die and then brought him back to life 100 years later. This goes way beyond any typical NDE. He was then shown how Allah took up the bones of his donkey, put flesh on them, and finally gave it to him again, alive once more. At the end of all that, the questioner, who some say was Uzair, had just this to say: أعلم أن الله على كل شيء قدير. He could have had that realization for free by faith without the experience, however tremendous, and the 100 years of unliving. And why not? We are living in reality right now, and miracles are happening all around us. In the water floating over our heads, the fire in our bellies, and the sparks of divine intelligence that feel as if they are taking place behind our eyes. Every ordinary experience is direct contact with the spiritual realm, and we are all ghosts and spirits brought to life to listen to the word of God in the wind, the rain, and the sound of the Qur'an that we recite in the comfort of our homes. It is not exciting because it is commonplace, but it is way more reality than we can handle. So why go on trips, take drugs, or run after mystics and shamans? Just stop and think for a moment. If you can't see the huge amount of wow in that, one more experience will not bring you any closer to the truth. The beauty of the truth, the other meaning of al-haq, is that it does not depend on the quantity or quality of the experiences we have. The blind, the disabled, and the oppressed have as good a chance of appreciating the truth, or even better than most of us, because of their deprivations and their experience of humiliation, shame, and distress. It can be presented at least partially in words, conveyed by eye or ear to the mind, and allowed to ferment there until the truth transcends all possible human experience in one gigantic realization, immediately accessible by faith. I know that truly God has power over everything.